We're mid-year. We got some exciting Doom releases, or sad ones, for you guys to check out.
Prepare your umbilical cord to be cut, because we're gonna cut them straight off your body. Doom Metal Picks time.
Let's get romantic in a castle with My Dying Bride's Immortal Binding. My Dying Bride's latest album continues their legacy of excellence. While the band has never really released a bad album, their notable peaks are Turn Loose the Swans, Feel the Misery, and you know what? We got a little tier ranking list that you guys should check out. With this 14th studio album, that's pretty insane, My Dying Bride takes a more stripped down approach to their songwriting here, emphasizing emotional depth over elaborate production techniques. Mark Minette's studio work amplifies the album's vastness too, allowing each performance of every member to really breathe, and you know what, it works really well. Aaron's vocals, predominantly single-tracked on this record, which was kind of surprising to me, convey raw emotions, while Sean McGowan's violin assumes a more pivotal role akin to the band's more earlier era. The album weaves poignant moments with contrast between enchantment and horror, and it's reminiscent of their classic works, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The Apocalyptus in general is like one of their best fucking songs that they've ever written. I don't know why people aren't talking about it more.
This soul child now dead, this soul crawling away.
My Dying Bride, with their mastery of melancholic narrative, crafts evocative soundscapes that resonate timeless sorrow and beauty. Immortal Binding represents both a stylistic progression and also a kind of calculated regression to more familiar tropes that we all love in the band. This affirms the band's status as one of the most timeless Doom bands, but you know what? This might be their last. This is a hell of an album to go out on if that's true.
Yeah, if this is their swan song, no complaints. Lord Dying, Clandestine, Transcendence. I'm a firm believer that where an artist is geographically located will affect their art. Whether you're a writer, a painter, musician, there's something super unique about bands that come out of the Pacific Northwest. We got Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. There's always kind of a darker message with these songs that descend into the recesses of your emotions. Lord Dying would be like if Mastodon, Soundgarden, and Yob all had a grotesquely beautiful, sad baby. The band meticulously weaves threads of the human condition throughout the music, never shying away from being incredibly heavy or solemn with its themes. This album isn't quite perfect, because at 12 tracks and nearly 59 minutes, it does drag a bit at times, which is kind of ironic because their previous full-length album, Mysterium Tremendum, is only 5 minutes shorter, but I could spin that album for days at a time. This is nothing short of just being a fantastic, diverse, introspective doom metal album that if you haven't heard yet and are interested in that little more of that proggy vein, you should scoop this one up.
Now I'm kind of cheating here because this band is technically a sludge band. You know, there's enough that it makes sense. Thou, Umbilical. Thou has consistently embraced misanthropy, challenging audiences like us, portraying humanity as a flawed experiment through their lyrics, and we all show up for it, right?
Every single thing I've ever built now lies in ruins.
In their latest album, Umbilical, they delve deeper into their sludgy origins while retaining that characteristic intensity and fuzziness that we all know and love. The band characterizes the album as a self-critique and addresses the compromise that they've kind of navigated throughout their careers, and you can hear that in the pissed off nature of the screams and also the heavy hits that resonate in the guitar chords. Umbilical presents a more refined version of Thou, with no tracks ever really being on the longer side, and they return to more like conventional song structures, which was kind of surprising for a sludge band. Despite this adjustment, the album maintains that trademark insane heaviness that this band has. The lead single, I Feel Nothing When You Cry, listen to this. Somehow they've got like a faster, catchier sound, and it works really well for them. Now, in essence, Umbilical epitomizes Thou's evolution, merging elements of, like, dare I say, grunge and sludge, preserving that experimental spirit of the band. And it stands as a rejuvenating, introspective, and undeniably weighty offering from a band that's just not afraid to challenge genre boundaries.
I can even hear some like pre-grunge stuff, like punk, sloppy, kind of crust punk shit in here. It's Counting Hours, The Wishing Tomb. We missed this album at its first release, probably because I was too busy creating transit lines and Transport Fever 2 or something like that. We know the history of this band. We know the roster of this band very well, and their debut record is really strong. Gotta say though, man, their sophomore follow-up is a stunning display of staying the course in taking what works and putting your own flair on it, right? The subgenre of melodic death doom is kind of starting to hit middle-age stagnation, something I am also familiar with. Bands like Counting Hours have found a way to break that stalemate and showcase a new coat of paint on an old ride. This record felt more engaging than the debut, and there's something about that cold, reverberated guitar tone that these Finns are known for that just never gets old. As a whole, this record is engaging as it is somber, giving a sad salute to music that is as groovy as it is depressing. If you miss that mid-era Catatonia sound, slumber, rapture, these guys are right up your alley. Overall, a solid record from the melodic death doom category, nothing short of fantastic for this one.
Pallbearer's evolution has been a phenomenal journey, showcasing the band's ability to write devastatingly heavy and emotional doom capable of hitting that like prog territory at times. I admit it took me a little bit of time to get my head around their latest release, but I have to say that Mind Burns Alive showcases the band's maturity, fragility, and heavy resonance reminiscent of even their classic debut. The opening track, Where the Light Fades, sets that tone with Brett Campbell's mature vocals, intricate melodies intertwined, and those subtle dynamics really make it so that when it does hit hard at the end, it really hits. Endless Place captivates with a blend of modern doom and prog elements, highlighted by a brilliant saxophone solo. Joseph Rowland's lead vocal debut on Daybreak adds that emotional depth, revealing Pallbearer's versatility. The album, while escaping the confines of traditional doom, maintains a satisfying heaviness while towing the lines of their middle-era records. This is a mind-blowing and burning Doom record, alive with killer sophistication and emotion. Amazing work, fellas. I love this album.
Mourning Dawn, the foam of despair. First of all, if you've gotten this far into the video, thanks for sticking around. We appreciate the hell out of you. We want to invite you into this community by doing whatever you can to help us. Throw your own pics down in the comments down below. Got merch? Yep, we got merch. That's the thing. Do the thing. Back to the music. So for those unaware, this band has been around for a long time, delivering massive slabs of grim, sorrowful metal that is sure to leave you feeling oppressed and probably depressed. This album has a strong rise in quality, which we love here. It's kind of surprising to us when an album starts as fine and then it ends up as great. I love that. I gotta spawn a word of caution before you jump into this, though. It is bleak. Unlike Lord Dying, that has moments of hope and optimism and, brightness in the future, the foam of despair is more akin to quicksand. It's going to suck you into its despair. So be sure to have your favorite pop or hip-hop record ready to go after you play this one to wash your body of the sticky foam of despair.
Spectral voice, Sparagmos, man, these dudes captured a truly mesmerizing and terrifying experience with their sophomore album, delving deeper into death doom territory with spooky intensity. There are clear influences from early funeral doom greats. Sparagmos channels a fiendish atmosphere, enveloping listeners in reverberating chords with wild bass textures. Tracks like Red Feast condensed into one blend blast beats with unhinged vocals, and this is where the contrast between slow and fast really hits hard for me. Despite its density, and it really is dense, Sparagmos captivates with its intricate development, challenging listeners to face its overwhelming force. Slow moments like Be Cadaver and Death Knell's Rings in Eternity completely envelop you in sorrow. In its violence lies a strange beauty, making it one of the most compelling death doom experiences for a genre that I don't even really listen to that much. Spectral voice achieves that goal, man, leaving listeners overcome with inexorable power. This is a killer record. Please check it out.
BleakHeart Silver Pulse. This is a sophomore release from my first run of the band. I gotta say, the doom metal shoegaze subgenre fusion, I don't really think it suits them. Listen for yourself and tell me what you think down below. I'd compare this band like to Helga, Cripple Black Phoenix, Mesa. They kind of weave that celestial post-rock, space rock sound with hard-hitting metal sections. Trust me, this band will drop the hammer on you, and when you're not ready for it. The production, really one of my favorite things about this. According to their Bandcamp page, this record is fully analog, and I know sometimes people say that and you're like, I can't really tell. This sounds like it's fully analog. It's really got a great character to it, great sonic nuances. Easily one of my favorite things about this record. This record is inspired by the impermanence of our physical bodies, how we are really just living in a state of perpetual decay. We are going to succumb to the end, to death. It's a harrowing and scary subject. It's not only a universal subject, it's very personal to the band as they deal with their own diseases and physical ailments, which we really appreciate that vulnerability here at the Forge. Embrace the fragility, Forgemates. This is an introspective record that is very well worth your time. Despite the slow tempo in this record, it's actually paced incredibly well. It begs for repeat listens. I guarantee you can't listen to this just once.
Bongripper, Empty. This is their 8th album, which is, I didn't even know that. That's kind of crazy. Empty unleashes 67 minutes of monumental doom album that obliterates everything in its path. For many people, this is the Doom album of the year, and you know what? I totally get it. The record offers a highly captivating and immersive experience that transcends the genre conventions. Somehow being instrumental and long as hell, this album kept me thoroughly engaged. In fact, I let it spin multiple times. Empty isn't just about sheer heaviness either. It's heavy with purpose, weaving melody, atmosphere, and texture into colossal soundscapes. Whether craving drone, doom, or sludge, Empty delivers with unmatched intensity. The album is a massive amalgamation of different doom elements and creates an ultimate sonic experience. I've written so much code and dominated many spreadsheets blasting this record. Bongripper proves once again why they reign supreme in the doom realm, and I barely even enjoy this flavor of the subgenre. This shit's fucking legit, dude. Listen to it.
Anytime that we hear a band is a DIY project, we immediately know what's going on. We have been there ourselves as DIY musicians. So when we hear something that's DIY and it's just like really, really good,
props.
We respect you. This record feels like a descent into madness, dude. Some of the songs on here just make me nervous. They give me freaking anxiety that just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up in a creepy way. They utilize things like the sounds of clocks and ticking and metronomes and stuff that just makes your heart start to raise in tempo. And you're like, by the time you realize it, you're like, holy shit, I'm like really anxious right now. You really get lost in a trance in this record. They really lean into those atmospheric sections. I forgot altogether that I was listening to a metal band throughout several times in this album, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get hit with like this huge riff or something like that, and then they chunk for a few minutes, and then they go back to atmospheric stuff. It's really cool. The usage of electronic, industrial vibes, super welcome on here. You're going to think of bands like Skinny Puppy and that kind of distorted industrial era of the 90s. This is a very unpolished record. Some of the sounds on here they don't sound like they belong, but they really do. It's wild. In their Bandcamp bio, the band says that they utilize practice spaces throughout their home and different production techniques, and you can really tell there is something just so cool about the sonic characteristics of this album that outside of the music itself, I just love the production. The sonic qualities of this record is just fantastic.
What are your favorite doom, slow, sludge records of 2024? Drop that stuff in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up, really helps us out. And you know what? Check out some of our other videos about doom right here.
Go with the gods, Forgemates. The Doubtsower is rising high. And contains Mrs. Doubtfire.